Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's some bad actors out there.
I know, trust me.
Yeah,
Well, we want to this will be more interactive than the other one, so I definitely want to let them talk later, but you go ahead and
sure. And
Bonnie said
typically my
always.
rule is if your video isn't on, you don't talk.
That's right. That's right.
If you
Bonnie
video,
said
but
you're
if your
always trying
video
to shut
is
me up.
on, it's usually someone that is not gonna cause problems.
Gotcha. I don't know. Bonnie looks like a troublemaker. I think LaShonda came to ruffle some feathers today too. It's okay. We're here.
I'm glad people showed up, especially with
Love
all the
that
weather
smile.
happening.
Love that smile, LaShonda. I don't know where the rest of these people are. JJ, where are all y'all's cameras? Y'all didn't want me to see your pretty faces today? What is up?
I was just gonna say that. Let's get those videos on. Let's see. Robert,
I don't care what you
um,
look like. I just want to
JJ,
see your pretty faces.
Dana, Marcelo. What's up? Good morning. Let's get those videos on. And question for you all. Do you know the real monthly cost of running your business? What's up, Marcel? Thanks for turning on your video. It's good to see you.
Look, Marcelo. Hi. Buenos dias. Good morning. How are you?
We got more people coming in. But again, answer in the chat. Do you know the real monthly cost of running your business? Genuine question. And now when I say monthly cost, I'm not talking about, oh yeah, I have a lead gen service or I pay for some Zillow leads. I'm talking about the whole thing. I'm talking about taxes, insurance, right? All those little expenses you forget about. Some of you probably pay monthly for your MLS, right? All those little things. How about signs for those of you who aren't at Epic and pay for your own signs? How about signs and how much do they cost you? Do you know those expenses on a monthly basis? Can you go, yeah, it costs me 6,300. Hopefully it doesn't cost you 6,000 by the way. Um, I'm talking about more big team stuff. We'll go it cost me $327. Can any of you get me a number like that? That's
I know
accurate.
I know solo agents whose monthly nut is over 12 grand. It just depends on how you run
Man,
your business.
when I when I was coaching, still doing paid coaching, I had a client that just started and he was like, I don't think I really need coaching. I'm doing really well. And his numbers MLS wise looked great. Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah.
top
Yeah.
producer, 35, 40 homes a year, which is fantastic. Um, and then we got into the finances and get this, he spent $90,000 on lead gen a year. A single agent, and he wasn't closing two or 300 homes a year, right? If you close two or 300 homes a year, I could kind of see the 90,000 in ad spend. You're probably spending a lot to do that. Nope. He was closing 30 to 40 consistently a year, which is great. So he's a closer. But $90,000. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hello, Felicia. It's good to see you. Gosh, there's still people coming in. I love it. Keith, good to see your face. Hope you're safe out there, man. I know it got cold for you too. And you're in a small town. So, like, when winter hits there, I mean, you're just, man,
Felicia has her first listing appointment today and she's gonna kill it.
let's go. Oh, I'm so proud. That's Cynthia. Look at you bundled up. You are ready. That I'm braving it. I'm here. Resilience. Well, guys, let's get started. Okay. I could talk to you forever. I love talking to y'all. But today is about those who might feel financial stress, even in good months. And just real quick, does anybody actually relate to that? Like you have a good month, but you still feel Cynthia's like me. Yeah, right? Okay. All right. And maybe for those who just don't feel very confident in handling expenses, taxes, or savings. I will say this. I've seen a lot of agents who are very competent agents and horrible business owners. Horrible business owners, amazing agents. Unfortunately, you have to be both. You have to be good at both. Otherwise, well, it hurts. Let's just put it that way. And maybe you just want some financial stability that allows you to lead with confidence. And stability just means that you, again, have confidence in where your business is and where it's going. Also, Bonnie, I have a husband who keeps me in check. Listen, that is a good spouse. You guys should look out for each other. You should be holding each other accountable. I love it, and I love hearing that. So let's keep moving. Four commitments for being on the call, as always. I don't know if Chris or Walt were doing these. I gave them permission to skip them because they're not used to enforcing things. But you know I'm back and I'm here. So video on. That's what we want to see. So that means Robert, Leticia, JJ, Dana, Ruchi, Mirwais? I can't remember. Ruth, let's get those videos on. I want to see you. I want you to be present. I want us to have a great time. Plus, your energy for Laura and I, oh my gosh, we feed off of it. Seeing you, it's just like, yes, I'm glad I'm here, even though we do it for free. Distractions off. It would be so silly to show up to a training call just to be distracted. Quite honestly, either don't show up or turn those distractions off so you get the most out of this call. Okay? Because that's why you're here. Participate, especially with Laura's particular. She's going to have questions for you, things for you to do, things for you to put in the chat. Be listening, be active so you get the most out of this because this is designed for you. Laura's already got her plan written. She doesn't need to do this for herself. She's got it taken care of. This is for you. And then most importantly is just go make someone's day. Go bless them, go serve them without anything in desire for return. Just go bless someone else like Laura and I are blessing you today. I mean that sincerely, and I believe that it's very important. So keep that going. And I really do mean that. All right. So, real quick, the kind of things need to change moments is most agents think that their stress comes from the market. In reality, it usually comes from money uncertainty. Okay, let me tell you, I know some very rich agents. I know agents who aren't rich, but they're wise with their money and have a lot of savings. They're not nearly as stressed as agents who don't know where their next check is coming from or don't know how much they are projected to make this year based off of real numbers. Okay, when you don't know your true operating costs, tax obligations, or savings, every slow month, it just feels like a panic attack. You're just sitting there and you're going, I don't know if I can do this, if I'm going to make it through another month. We don't want that, guys. We don't want that. Even when you have a rough month, which happens, by the way, to the best of the best, there should be a confidence and a belief in what you've been building. And that's what Laura's been teaching over the last few weeks is building that real, true plan, right? So now it is time to run your business with some clarity, protection, and intention. Because I really don't want you to have a fragile business, and I don't think you do either. Okay. So, as always, say it with me. You guys ready? Listen good. Say it with me. Things
Things
need
need
to
to
change.
change. That's right.
And the good news is they will. And it's going to start with some financial understanding of your business because lack of financial clarity is one of the top drivers of stress. And just so you know, it's also one of the top drivers of divorce. So get your finances in order, and your personal and business life will be much better off. Okay. Businesses that just track their operating expenses and are looking at their numbers consistently are actually far more likely to maintain stability. Who would have thought, right? Even through fluctuations, they're going to be more stable. And also, this is crazy, but it's really true. Failing to plan for taxes and savings leads to the cash flow crisis. But let me tell you, there are way more agents than you realize who owe the IRS. Way more people in general. It's just one of those things we definitely don't talk about. We definitely hide it because we're ashamed, we're embarrassed. We don't want others to know that we did this. And you know why? Because all of us inherently know we need to be responsible with our money. We know that. If we didn't believe that, we wouldn't be ashamed or embarrassed when we're not. That's why Laura's here today to help you get away from that shame and actually have a plan that makes you feel confident and even proud, even through the rough times. Because it's not about making more money. It's about protecting what you already earn so your business supports you instead of stresses you out. Come on now. Okay? So let's get into it. Laura's going to do most of the talking here. She's an amazing leader, so listen good. Keep those videos on. I'm going to keep letting people into the call because they keep coming. So, step one,
Can someone,
identifying. Yeah.
thank you so much, darling. Can somebody drop the link for the workbook for those that are on the call for the first time that weren't here the last 2 weeks,
Oh,
please?
yes, good thinking. Misa, can you drop that in the chat for
If you don't,
everybody? And we
if you
will be
don't
putting it
mind.
in the newsletter for you guys as well. We always make sure. And then we just launched our Minga profile, which is like Linktree, where you'll always be able to go get all the links there too. So if you're like, I deleted the email or I forgot where it is, we're going to drop that in the chat as well so you guys can get used to seeing that. Um,
Thank
Robin, thank you. First timer, love it. First timer, all timer. Let's go.
Robin, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. You ready for me, Robert? You
Ready,
ready?
take it away.
All right. So I want to touch on a couple of things here. I want to recap kind of where we've been for anybody. This is your first time on the call because this is um, basically a 4 to 6 hour workshop that I wrote. If you've seen the workbook, you already know I've already taken a lot of heat for how many pages it is every week. And I don't care. I'll stand behind them because this book was made with a lot of love. I made it personally for you. I try when I do my business planning, I try to be all encompassing of my entire life because everything that happens in your home pours over into your business. And so when we are planning for our business, we have to take into account our environment at home, our support system at home, our finances, our mental health, our self-care, our physical health. All of those things impact the kind of business owners that we are. And so you cannot plan your business for the year without taking into account all of the things that you're managing in your personal life, all the plates that you're spinning, all the obligations that you have, and everything that you are responsible for. You cannot show up as the best version of yourself unless you are planning how all of that works together. So that is why this workbook is so thick. Don't blame me for killing the trees. Don't download it if you don't want it, but it is there for you, and I hope that you will use it. It is a beautiful piece of work that I'm very proud of, and I want you to understand that I think it's going to help you think about a lot of things that most of you haven't thought about when it comes to planning your business. A lot of business planning workshops or sessions are all about what we're talking about today, which are the numbers, right? And maybe they're talking about strategies of ways that you're going to build your business, but they're not talking about the speed bumps that might get in your way, the roadblocks that are going to appear, and how you prepare for those and project those so that you can have a contingency plan, so that you can work your way around them, so that the speed bump doesn't become the roadblock, right? And the roadblock doesn't stop you in your tracks. You're going to take a detour. You're going to figure out how to get around what that is that's keeping you from achieving the success you know you're capable of. And we know that you're capable of. So I want to start out by telling you that. If you were not with us the first two calls, I'm going to encourage you to go back and go through the sections of the workbook that we've already covered so that you get the well-rounded version of this whole plan. We're kind of on pages 19 to 20, I think, is where we are in this big old workbook. If you want to know kind of where we are, we're talking about our monthly operating expenses. And this is super important. I just want to kind of remind you a couple of things that Robert said in the beginning of the call. Um, I've been doing this 25 years. Okay, you guys know that. And everybody gets that's the one thing if you ask on Facebook, what's the most annoying thing a realtor could ever say to you? And it's, I've been in business for 25 years. I understand it. But here's what I want you to hear me tell you from that. I have 25 long years of living this life in this industry. I have battle scars and wounds. I have trophies. I have accolades. I have the whole circle of it. Because if you've been in this business more than 5 months, you know that's what it is. It's an up and down, a deregulation of your central nervous system on a daily basis. And the point of me telling you this is in my 25-year career, I have experienced extreme highs, extreme lows, and everything in between. And one thing I will tell you is the constant in 25 years is that you are going to have months where you do not make as much money as you need to provide for your family or to support the lifestyle that you've chosen. Okay. It is all about, this business is all about providing income to support the lifestyle that you've chosen, right? Now, everyone has a choice of what their lifestyle looks like. You want to drive the Ferrari and the Bentley and live in the mansion? You got to work to earn that, and that is able and accessible to you. You can have that life. There are other people who want to live a more modest life and just have their bills paid and have a little extra money in the bank, put their kids maybe through college. Very proud of that business. There's space for that too. But one thing I will tell you is that this is not a hobby and this is not a job. This is a career that you chose, and you are the CEO of that business. And as the CEO, unfortunately, most of us don't have the money to hire a CFO, the chief financial officer. We are the CFO. And unfortunately, for a lot of us, that's not good because some of us are not good at managing money. Some of us are not good at forecasting. Some of us are not good at measuring returns on the money that we're spending. We don't know how to evaluate whether or not we should keep paying for a tool that is costing us money because we don't know how to evaluate whether or not that was worth it, right? Like Robert was saying, $90,000 on marketing alone could eat up someone's entire income because their gross may have been 450, but all of their expenses might have totaled 400. Well, you just did all that work for 50 grand. And that is the reality is that most people don't know, most agents don't know truly what it costs to operate their business on an annual basis. They're taking it month by month. Let's see what hits me. They're making poor financial decisions based on desperation. And that's the other part. We don't make good choices for our business when we're desperate. When we are struggling with money, we will do anything. We'll buy anything somebody tries to sell us. We will sign up for any kind of thing if we think it'll make us money. If we think it'll make us money. And I'm here to tell you in that really long career that I've had, 90% of what you spend money on to generate business does not have the return you think it does. And I'm going to tell you that also as a business owner, I've owned two brokerages in my career. And owning a brokerage is not for the faint of heart. It is hard work. It is brutal. You have to do a lot of sacrificing of your own personal time and personal finances to keep that business open and operating a lot of times. And I will tell you that the hardest part of operating that business was projecting income because most of my agents did not have predictable income. I did not know if the agents that I could rely on that were helping pay the bills, if they were going to produce the same amount of money the next year, if they were going to stay with the company, right? If they were going to continue to operate their business in the same way, because a lot of agents pivot fast to the next new shiny thing. And so there wasn't a lot of consistency to build a solid business on that you can say, hey, I know my business produces X number of dollars a year. I had to plan for droughts. I had to plan for slow seasons. I had to plan for when agents capped and we were no longer making money off of them. You have to do the same thing in your business. Even if you're not the brokerage owner, you're the business owner. And your business is independent of the brokerage. Your success and failure is dependent on you as the business owner and the CEO of your business. So if you don't even know what it costs to operate your business on a monthly basis, how can you make good business decisions to decide what to invest your money in when you don't even know where your money's coming from or when it's coming in? Okay? So the first thing is I'm not going to go through like all the pages individually, but that I think page 9 or page 20 has got, the list of all the total monthly expenses you have. How many of you in the chat tell me December was kind of pissed you off because you had to pay your realtor dues in December and that's the worst time of the year to pay your dues and we're usually broke in December. You can raise your hand, you can say that's me in the chat, whatever it is. I'm just trying to make sure you're still with me and you didn't go back to sleep on me. Yeah, Keith, raise that hand. Yes. I want you to know something. You can pay those dues any time of the year. You don't have to wait till December, right? So when we have money in May, we have money in June, we got money in February and March, pay your dues. Get it off your plate. You don't have to wait till December. That's just when they send you the invoice. Lots of associations have the ability to collect that up front. And if you don't, stick it in a savings account so that it doesn't surprise you in December. right? This is called planning. You know it comes every December. But yet every December, I have to send out messages to agents all over my teams in the States. Please don't forget to pay your dues. And oh, by the way, you didn't pay your dues. We're going to have to unenroll you. Like it's a threat every year. We know it's coming. Plan for it. Set aside those things. And I want you to do the same things with all of your operating expenses. If you have expenses that are only once a year, maybe a license renewal every 2 years, some states are once a year. If you know these things are coming, you need to have those listed and planned out and have a plan for how you're going to pay these expenses so that when December 31st comes around, you're not out door dashing trying to earn $500 to pay your realtor dues. That's not what a CEO does. That's not what a CFO does. Now, I'm not trying to tell you that you shouldn't be outdoor dashing. You got to do whatever you got to do to pay your bills and feed your family. But what I'm telling you is that every time I talk with my hands, it raises my hand. I'm so sorry. Every time, I'm not saying you can't go out there and do what you got to do, but I'm saying, is that a representation of the CEO of your company you're trying to be? Right? Out there door dashing. I've done it. I pulled up in my Mercedes once, and the guy commented, "Wow, that's a nice car for a door dasher." And I just told him, "Well, thanks. I used to be rich," because that's what happened. You can fall from that pedestal that you put yourself on is defining what rich is, but let me tell you what rich really is. Rich is having money freedom, location freedom, time freedom. That's what rich is. Rich is not having to go out and DoorDash so you can pay your realtor dues to keep this engine going, right? Let's make smarter business decisions. Let's make smarter financial decisions. Let's plan better for the expenses that are coming, right? So, everybody with me there? Let's talk about taxes and savings for a second. And I don't know where I am on the slideshow because I've got the workbook open. I'm so sorry. Robert, you might
I'm looking. I'm like, taxes and savings. Let's see if
yeah.
we.
I don't think the slideshow for today, so if you'll just let me go off rogue, we'll bring it home. But I don't
Oh,
think
there
the
it is.
slideshow had a whole lot of meat and potatoes to it today. So if you need to go to a slide that you say, hey, hold on, just let me know and I'll stop flapping. Um, let's talk about taxes. I could fill a room with 5,000 realtors, and I and have asked people in the room, please stand up if you owe the IRS any money. And I will tell you that almost brought tears to my eyes because I would tell you there's probably about 487 people that stood up. Now, that could unite a room in our misery. Like, hey, great, we all owe the IRS. There's no shame in that, like as far as that how many people in the room. But it doesn't make us feel good. It doesn't help us sleep at night. It is a noose around our neck that is just added stress. And again, when you have added stress, do you make the best business decisions for your business? And one thing I will tell you, and you can hear lots of things, people say anywhere between 25 and 35%. When a dollar comes into my office, a third of that goes to the IRS, a third of that goes to savings, and a third of it goes to my operating expenses. Okay. When I go to a listing presentation, I lay out six $1, well, let's say three $1 bills because I'm only talking about my fee with the seller. I'm going to lay out three $1 bills and I'm going to show them when that seller tries to ask me for a discount, I'm going to explain this three $1 bills represents the fee that you're paying me. One of those dollars has to go to my brokerage as the cost of operating my business. One has to go to the IRS, and the other one goes to feeding my family. Where would you like for me to take the discount from? Right? It's all about representation. It's all about making sure that they understand, listen, I'm a business owner. I have to pay Uncle Sam too, just like you do, right? And what happens is we get these big checks and we're so behind. I can only tell you from experience. We're so behind on our bills that when that check comes in, it's already out the door before we even have done anything because we're behind. And so then when it comes to paying Uncle Sam, we're like, well, I'll have another check coming up soon. I'll just pay it then. And then guess what happens? You're in the same boat again. You're behind. You're paying 60 days worth of bills or 30 days worth of bills. And then next thing you know, you have a tax bill of $25,000, $30,000. That is not a way you sleep well at night. That is not a way that you feel safe for your family. It is going to get you into trouble. They will seize your bank accounts, just so you know, so that you get no income. They will levy your accounts, your retirement, your saving, all of it. They will take everything that they can. We don't want that monster on our back. Okay. And I'm going to encourage you, if your finances, if your taxes are a mess, this is where we said things have to change. Okay. Doesn't matter what happened last year. Doesn't matter what happened 3 years ago. It doesn't matter if you're carrying around $100,000 of debt to the IRS from years of not paying it. It can all be remedied. It can all be cleared. It can all have a plan of resolution. You can work on that. You can settle the debt. You can do all kinds of things, but do not let that continue to grow and snowball to a point where you can't get out from under it. Okay. So let's just commit when the dollar comes in, we're going to be smarter about where the dollar goes. Okay. How we're dividing up the dollar and who we're paying. Everybody in agreement there, right? The other thing I want to talk about in terms of really analyzing your expenses. This is the part where lean as you can get is going to help you build, right? Everyone in this business thinks I have to spend money to make money. And in a lot of ways, it feels that way because we are independent contractors and we have to invest our money in order to make money sometimes. Like in advertising for listings to get it sold, we don't get paid until it closes, right? So in some ways it does cost money to make money. I want you to understand you need to evaluate all of your expenses in terms of can I deduct this? Right? I need deductions. This is part of the other problem. When you make a certain amount of money, you have to have a certain amount of deductions to offset what you're paying the IRS. But so many agents are so afraid to spend a dollar because they don't have a dollar, right? They don't have it. So they're afraid to spend it. But then you have no deductions. So you're either going to pay Uncle Sam or you're going to pay yourself, right? I'm not a CPA. I'm not an accountant. The only math I do is X times 3%. I'm going to tell you that right now. X times 3%. That's the only math I do. Okay. But I have trusted financial advisors. I have trusted financial bookkeepers and people in my corner that will help me decide, is this something that I can deduct? Should I deduct it? Should I spend it? Your check and balance system for yourself is this going to make me money in the next 30 days? Not 6 months from now, not a year from now. Is this something that's going to make me money now? The other part is your return. You'll hear lots of salespeople say, especially these ones that are trying to sell you leads online, they will always tell you, you just got one deal from this, that would pay for it. How many of you have bought something with that mindset? We all have, right? Oh, if I just recruit this one person, or if I just sell one deal, it's going to pay for this. Well, not if your power's getting shut off and you're outdoor dashing to do this. You should not be investing in those kinds of things. Invest in yourself, the things that don't cost money. And in 25 years of being in this business, there are plenty of years where I didn't have money to invest in lead generation and systems like that, where what I spent money on was time with people. I bought them coffee or I had breakfast with them or I spent time, I dropped off a gift at their house, right? Internet leads are 8 times harder to convert than people that you've met one time. 8 times. So you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars chasing internet strangers, but know you're going to have to work 8 times harder to get your money back. There's lots of people that make lots of money chasing internet strangers. I'm not dogging it, but I'm telling you, if you don't have money, stop spending money that you don't have in an attempt to try to build your business. Go out and talk to people. Go out and meet people. Go be the community mayor, the town connector. Stop spending money on things. And here's the other part. Stop buying stuff on the internet for $49, $57, $62. Here's my system. You can have this. How many of you have bought stuff you've never even opened? Oh, I'm going to use this. This is great. I'm going to give them my $47. They're going to teach me everything I need to know to make $1 million in real estate this month. I know agents that do that every day. Stop buying things that you're not using, that have no return, and invest in yourself. Put some money in savings. Put some money, set money aside. Buy stock. Do something that's going to thank your future self will thank you for. Okay? Any comments, Robert?
Well, what I will say is that because of people like you and Chris and Walt and the guests we bring on Wednesday, there is pretty much nothing out there, with a few exceptions, that
That
is
we haven't
worth
done.
most of you buying. Um, we are some of the few that actually give you all of the tips and all the strategies. Notice how Laura gave you a link to get the whole workbook and she didn't put it behind $1,000 paywall. Now, there's nothing wrong if she decided. What I'm telling you is that if you do a little bit of due diligence, especially now that you're in our sphere, you're going to get almost anything you could ever ask for and then some, and most of the time you can get it for free. So just be mindful of that. Don't be so desperate, as Laura pointed out so wonderfully. Don't be so desperate that you'll throw money at something when there's literally a free version available to you.
And the other thing is we can help you evaluate some of those tools. If you're getting
Oh
sales
yeah,
call and you're like, "Hey, this guy is relentless and I think I want to do it." Find a mentor, find one of us and ask us, shoot us a message. "Hey, I'm
I love
thinking
doing
about."
that. By the way,
Me too.
yeah,
Me too, because I'll give them the down and dirty, and I love being able to save somebody a year-long commitment that
yeah,
I know is not going to do anything for their business. They would have,
absolutely.
I feel like I save people $20,000 with a text like that, and I love that, right? I would
And you
rather,
and I probably spent way more money than probably everybody in this room combined on all of this stuff. So we have made the
it's
mistakes. We
And
know that.
I'm trying to save people from the mistakes that cost
Yeah,
me so much money that ended up being a fail, right?
yeah,
So I'm just telling you, lean out before you're choosing to invest, especially if you're going to get into a long-term contract commitment on a lead generation source. Please do your homework, investigate, read the reviews, ask other agents what their success has been like and how they've utilized it. Every agent's going to have a different experience, so know that not every agent is built the same, and some people buy things and never use them, and they don't know how to follow up with people, and they don't have skills, so their conversion is going to be lower. Take that with a grain of salt, but evaluate it on both sides and make sure that it's truly an investment that you're willing to make in your business before you enter into these long, year-long or 6-month contracts that are very expensive. That I can tell you, Robert and I have probably learned how to generate leads for free with all of the time in our business doing the same things that we have spent tens of thousands of dollars in our careers trying, right? So
yeah,
there's a better way, I promise you. What I want you to have clarity on is I need you to know what it actually costs to operate your business, not a roundabout number 5,000 or a roundabout number 30%. I need you to know your monthly nut down to the penny. Your monthly nut is what do I need to maintain the lifestyle that I've chosen? That means personal expenses, business expenses, anything you have planned, trips. Your life has a cost, right? The life that you are living has a cost. I wish we could live for free, but it don't work that way, right? And what we want to know is what does it cost each month in order for me to maintain the lifestyle that I've chosen? And I need you to have some crystal clear information there. The other part I want you to think about is your future self. Okay, so have any of you ever been to a retirement party for a realtor? Nope. Shake your heads no, because I know nobody probably has, because they don't retire, they die. And I don't understand that. Like, don't you want to have a big retirement party for all the people you've served in your career and say, "I'm done. I've put in my time." No, we want to be opening doors till we're 90 because it's like the golden handcuffs. This business is the golden handcuffs in a lot of ways. It's a very lucrative career that provides for our family, and we love it so much. It's like a drug. Every time we cash a check, it's like a drug. We want the next one, right? And what I want you to understand is that you've got to plan for an exit strategy too at some point. I don't want you to just die. I want you to have your Mr. Holland's Opus moment. If you've not seen the movie, go watch it. Where everyone you've ever served shows up and says, "Congratulations, you've been an important part of our life and our milestones." Isn't that what we all strive for? We want to be invited to baby showers and graduations and weddings and all of those life events. We want to be a part of those as a member We were a part of it all along the way. And so I want to encourage you to really think about, is my future self prepared for that? And are you setting enough money aside in savings even to get through a low month where you maybe a deal falls apart, right? Maybe a check you were hoping is coming, a deal you've been working on that's going to get you caught up. It's going to get your bills paid for a couple of months. You're going to be able to put some money aside. You're going to pay your taxes. You're going to pay your dues, all the things. What happens if that deal falls apart? This is also why it is extremely important that your pipeline is so full of opportunities that when one falls apart, you are not financially devastated. If you have a bad month where the check doesn't come in, where the closing got canceled, what's going to happen? Most of us do not have enough in savings to offset that situation. So I'm here just to kind of gently remind you that if you want things to be different, you have to do things differently. And that means you need to plan for the future. You need to plan for tight months. You need to plan for what happens if a closing doesn't happen. Can I pay my bills for a month? We had an agent that had a stroke. Can your life survive without you daily operating it in that capacity? And for most of us, the answer is no. Now, I'm not here to scare you for that. I'm not here to but it's a wake up call. If anything else, it is a wake up call to say, I am responsible for the decisions that I make for my business. I am responsible for every dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out. And I must make good financial decisions that are going to allow me to continue to be in business tomorrow, next week, next month, next quarter, next year. And everything you do today, your future self gets paid for tomorrow. So the work that I do today, I don't see evidence of working for 30, 60, 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the other thing that we don't work in an industry that I could show up and give my best for 8 hours, collect my paycheck and go home. I do my best for 8 hours, 30 days at a time, 60 days at a time, sometimes 180 days at a time if it's new construction, right? And I don't get the fruits of that for 6 months. And I've got to have a pipeline so full that throughout those 6 months, there's other money coming in. There's money
Mm-hmm.
coming in from all kinds of directions. And that is one of the things that I love about where I work is that I now have, after battling, struggling for many years, I now have money freedom because I have tools and resources available to me that allow me to make money in a variety of ways. That is multiple streams of income. That is liberation. That's freedom. That allows me to make decisions that I was never able to make before. And I couldn't make them
Mm-hmm.
because I was struggling. And when you're in survival mode, you don't make good choices. You make desperate choices. And desperate choices don't pay for the future, they pay for the right now. Did I hit home with that? Everybody good with that?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's move away. Anybody have any comments about finances or questions or anything they need clarity on that they want to ask about the financial piece before we move on to the personal development piece?
You can,
No?
if you have your video on, you can raise a hand too, and I'll unmute you if you have a question.
All right. If anybody does, you let me know. I can't see the chat where I am, so I'm not
It's
monitoring that. So I'm
fine.
going to let you handle that. All right, let's move on. Page 19, we're talking about education, CE, and professional growth as well. This is the other part that is very important of you, of development of you as a CEO. Okay. This is a very important part of you becoming a well-rounded leader, becoming a better agent, right? Becoming skilled at what you do, the lane that you've chosen to drive in. It is you being competent and confident, right? Because remember, confidence comes from competency, right? When you know what you do, what you're doing, you feel much more confident. Yes? One of the things that I will say about this part is I have a lot of agents that tell me, "Oh, I think I'm going to get another license in another state." And I want to talk about that for real quick for a second, if you'll let me. I am all in favor of that for agents who live on the cusp. of two states or close enough to two states or they spend enough time in two states where that makes sense. Okay. But don't invest the money in a license in another state if you don't have a bona fide plan for getting that money back. Okay. And I say that with all the love in my heart because I know lots of agents who are licensed in multiple states. I'm licensed in four. I get it. But here's the thing I will say is that every one of those states has additional costs associated with it, right? You have to join the MLS there. You have realtor dues there. You have monthly expenses for for all the things, the keys, the lockboxes, all the things. You have additional signage, all the stuff. And I just want you to evaluate, is this truly worth it for me? Or is this better for me to hand off to a trusted partner and refer it out? For most of you, the answer is refer it out. Okay. Unless you are literally straddling a border where you're on one side or the other, or you have so many clients that you're referring out, it might make sense for you. But if this is a one off, a two off kind of thing, please don't go invest $1,000 in getting a license in another state to make five because you're going to spend a lot of money, time, and energy. Okay. That's just my 2 cents. Do you, but I want you to plan for it. I want you to be smart about that decision. If I'm going to get a second license, what is that going to cost me and how am I getting that money back? Right? It's not just getting it back. It's a business decision. If you're investing money, you want a return and you want a certain percent return. I don't just want my money back. I want my money back and then some. Okay? I want you to think about what do you need as an entrepreneur to show up better for your clients? What additional skill sets do you need? What additional credentials do you need? Do you need additional training in something? If you've chosen a lane that is right for you, but maybe you don't have the skill set yet to really drive in that lane as fast as you need to, maybe you need to invest in some type of mentorship, coaching, or class that's going to help you be better prepared to deal with those clients and help those clients. There are tons of podcasts out there. Of course, I gave myself a shameful plug because it's my workbook and I wrote it, but I do have a non-real estate related podcast that I'm really proud of. It has nothing to do with real estate. It's just about being human, that I would suggest. And I would encourage you to really think about the kind of content that you're consuming on a daily basis. How you show up in your business is 100% a reflection of the type of stuff that you're consuming. If you find that you're angry all the time, you're frustrated, you're short-tempered, maybe you need to look at what you're consuming and see if I need to consume some other content that is more relaxing, that is more calming, that is more filling my mind and my heart and my body and not so aggravating and agitating. Okay. So ask yourself, what do I need to fill my tank with, my brain, my heart, my body, to make me a better CEO, to make me a better representative of my business? For a lot of CEOs, health is a number one priority because without them, if they were taken out of the game by some health incident, what would happen to their business? So a lot of high performing CEOs, their physical health and their mental health are two of the top priorities they have in their business before they ever get to their business plan because they are the central wheel of that business. And for most of us in this industry, we are the only wheel. If you got hit by a bus tomorrow, your business would be over for a lot of people. And so I want you to plan accordingly. I want you to be the best leader that you can. I want you to be the best version of yourself for your clients. Your clients deserve that. That is the other part. We're out here charging these people lots of money for our services, money that we've earned, well earned for most of us. Show up the best version of yourself. And what kinds of additional education? I want to say something about designations for a second because I have a lot of them. A lot of us do. The designations are not really for your clients. They're for you to be a better agent for your clients. You are gathering skills in these designation courses that help you be a better agent. They are giving you skills and knowledge and competency in areas that you should have if you're working with these types of clients. But I will be the first to tell you, and you know I'm a big fan of education. I'll be the first to tell you that those letters behind your name, the designations, the public does not know what they mean. The public does not understand them. The benefit of these designations and certifications is you get better knowledge. You're a better, more competent agent. And you might have some referral business that comes out of those designations because you are also share that credential with another group of people. And there's a lot of referral business that can be had out of those. But don't go get the designation thinking it's going to make you all kinds of money because I'll be the first to tell you it won't. Okay. It is an investment in your career. It's an investment in your clients. It is a credential that no one can take away from you. And you may make some additional money because of that credential. But I just want to be very honest with you and tell you that the credentials and the designations are there to make you a better leader, to make you a better agent. Get it because you have interest in excelling in that lane, but don't get it because you think it's going to be the check, because that's not where it's going to come from. Okay. Maybe you want some other additional certification, or maybe you just need some additional training. Um, what are we on time?
We're at 14 till
Okay.
10. Or I don't know what time zone you are.
It's okay. I got you. I looked. Event planning wise, I do coach a lot of event planning for your business for the year. I love events because events allow you, instead of doing one to one, you can have one to many. So, like this room, I could do this business planning on a one-on-one with my paid coaching clients, but I can get a lot more exposure for myself by getting in front of a group of people, right? There are lots of events that I teach and coach. Most of the events that I plan and host myself for my business have nothing to do with real estate.
Hmm.
They are like bourbon tastings. They are adopt a pet. They are charity events where I'm actually raising money for certain organizations in my community. They usually have some charitable contribution to it. I get a lot more leverage out of that. I get press out of that. I feel like I'm giving back to my community and serving, which fills my heart. Those are the events that I love, right? Some of my events are just social gatherings. I've given you guys in your workbook on page 27, I've given you all kinds of examples of various events that you can host. One thing I will tell you about events is that no one likes to be sold to. We talked about this last week, right? No one likes to be sold to, right? And I want you to think about the realtors that you have had experience with or any kind of interaction with in the past. What do people typically think about realtors? Is it high? Are they highly regarded? Events allow you to change that perception with a bigger group instead of one at a time, right? Events allow you to show up as the expert, the community connector, the mayor, the person that is the knowledgeable go-to person. That's what events give you. It also allows people to disarm themselves. Because in a real estate related event, everybody's armed up. Don't sell me. I know you're going to call me 100 times. They don't want to show up. It's not sexy, right? Events like a back to school fair or a pool party or moms and muffins or, dads and donuts or whatever, those kinds of things, they disarm people, they build communities, they connect people, and they allow you to be human with the people at the event. Events also give you a reason to call people to invite them to the event. I'm sorry I missed you at the event. Here's our next upcoming event. What were your key takeaways? Is there anything that I could have done better? And I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon, right? It gives me all the reasons to follow up just from an event. I have 5 reasons to call somebody, right? So I'm going to encourage you guys to plan for events this year. How many events do you want to have? I want to also say this. Your events do not have to be 500 people and cost you $5,000. An event, a very good event, can have 4 people. It can be intimate. It can be small. It could cost you nothing, right? It's not about the cost. It's not about how big it is. It is about what your goal is for that event. And when you plan an event, I always want you to have an outcome that you're expecting. What do you want to get out of the event? Don't just do the event to do the event, right? I want you to have a goal. From this event, I want to pick up 2 clients. From this event, I want to connect with 10 people. From this event, I want to raise $10,000 for my community. From this event, I want you to have a goal that you can measure with that event that goes beyond just, did I have fun? Did my
Hmm.
people have fun? Yes, I want you to have so much fun. But I also want you to think about when you have an event like this that you are hosting, where you are connecting people, where you're giving to charity, where you are enjoying yourselves. You guys are building a little community of people. You're getting to know each other. I want you to think about how those people that attended that event think about you as a realtor. Do they start to change the perception of you as a used car salesperson? Do they start to think of you as more human, more relatable? Do they get to know you on a different level? Think about the power of those, right? You don't have to do an event every day, every week, every month. You can have an event a quarter. You can have one big event, whatever it is. I'm going to encourage you to think about that. The last thing we're going to talk about today, excuse me, are non-negotiable.
Mm.
This is truly one of the biggest things that I talk about in my coaching programs with my clients is you need to establish a set of non-negotiables for yourself, for your business, that when life shows up, Robert's got young kids, they get sick, right? Like some of us are caring for elderly parents, some of us have animals that have to go to the vet and emergencies. Life is going to show up with a left hook and a right jab, always. Your non-negotiables are there for you so that at the end of the day, you can put your head on the pillow and say, I moved the needle in my business today, regardless of how my life showed up. Your non-negotiables are the structure in this business where we don't have any. This business doesn't have any structure. No one is telling you what time to go to work. No one is
Mhm.
telling you what time to be anywhere. No one's telling you how many people you have to call a day. No one's telling you how many appointments you have to have a week. Those are for you to decide. Your non negotiables are your standards that you hold yourself to when your motivation and your momentum fades. So maybe I'm
Mm.
not having such a great day, but I have non negotiables that I have to do every day that I commit to so that when I'm having a bad day, it does not impact my check for tomorrow. Momentum is really hard in this business to get, and it's even harder to keep. You're not always going to be motivated. You're not always going to be excited. You're not always going to have the momentum. But my recommendation to you is to choose some non-negotiables for your business that are going to help you move the needle in your business. Some of those non-negotiables are going to be your morning routine. Maybe it's about before checking my phone, I do some meditation. I might pray. I might get a cup of coffee. I might eat breakfast, right? Eat, fuel your body with food. You are worth that. And your clients will wait. Eat a power bar, something. But you can't be hangry and operate at your best, period. And you can't be eating from the gas station all day. Okay? Eat. Maybe your non-negotiables are more business related, that you want to have a minimum of 2 appointments set a day. You want to make, I write 5 handwritten notes every single day, regardless of how I feel, regardless of my life. Maybe for me, it is I post something on social media every day. My non negotiables are eating 3 meals a day, right? Don't skip. Maybe it's gratitude work. Maybe it is I'm going to check the MLS every single day for I'm going to spend 30 minutes in my MLS. I'm going to see what new listings are on the market, what closed, what went under contract. That is powerful daily to be checking in. You get to decide how many non-negotiables you have and what they are. But your non-negotiables are going to be the foundation for your business no matter how life shows up. But they're only going to work if you commit to them every day, regardless of how you feel. Your feelings don't pay your bills, your activities do. Okay? Questions about non negotiables? Some of those are going to be really personal to you. Some are going to be business related. Some are going to be family oriented. It's your choice what you are, but it's my invitation to you to create some structure where there isn't any in your business so that you have a regular routine that is a solid foundation that no matter what life shows up, I did these 5 things every day. So I know that I did not give up on my business today. Okay. Um, I've given you kind of some daily, weekly, monthly, annual non-negotiables. And those are, I would encourage you once a month to have a CEO day and a CFO day for your business. A CEO day is where you are going to really look at your business one time a month. You're going to catch up on the admin crap you've been putting off. You're going to make business decisions that you've been putting off. You're going to evaluate what's working, what's not working. Your CFO day, you're going to be all about your money. Where's my money coming from next month? Do I have enough this month to pay my bills? What needs to change? Is there things I need to cut out? Are there things I want you to act like a CFO that day? That day does not have to be 8 hours. You can block off 4 hours for CFO, 4 hours for CEO. Okay. But these are non-negotiables for me because I've been doing this so long that I know without it, things will get in the way. I will always put other things in front of it. I'm always going to run if a client need is above that. But guess what? Do I have a business to run if I don't dedicate time to it? I won't be running to anything because I won't have a business. So make your choices about how you want to spend your time. Um, that's it for me today. I didn't even go along your slides, and I'm really, really sorry for that.
Doesn't bother me.
Forgive me.
Don't
Okay,
worry.
good.
Um,
I
we
don't
will
think there.
put the workbook, the replay, the slideshow. We give you everything, guys.
Yeah, you're
It's
amazing.
gonna be. We're gonna drop it in the chat. Subscribe to the newsletter. Um, it's free. Don't worry. And there's no upsells or anything like that. I literally do it as just a blessing to you because God has blessed me and He told me pay it forward. So I said yes, sir. And that's why I do it. So definitely get on that newsletter. We'll get the replay, the slideshows, everything like that. And I, most
Next
of
week
you,
we're bringing it home, I think. Next week
yeah, I
is
was
our
just gonna
last
say
week.
next week we're gonna have the final part 4, where we conclude this. If some of you, I know there was some first timers here. You have a whole week to go check out the workbook, view some of the replays if you want. It's up to you, but I would definitely take that time. And if I could share two things that I really felt stood out to me a lot from what you were sharing, Laura. Um, one thing I saw was that if you are not financially literate, and financially literate means you actually understand your own finances, um, then how are you supposed to be guiding someone on the biggest purchase of their life?
Hmm. Good question.
I mean, finances are on every single part, from small ones. Should I buy an inspection or not? Well, you need to know finances, not just inspections. You need to know goals and budgets. You need to know what an ROI is. Am I going to get an ROI on this inspection? Right? Don't just say, oh, do it because other people. You need to be financially literate, and that comes from you doing your own finances on a daily and monthly basis. You should be looking every day. I do this every day, just so you know. I take a little bit of time every day to look at the money. This morning, right before I got on this call, I have one of my many subscriptions. And I said, you know what? For the next month, I actually don't project that I'm going to be using this as much. And so I went and downgraded it from $100 to $20 a month because I understand every day I'm looking at how my time is being spent. And this, let me tell you, you will close more deals when you are financially literate.
Hmm.
You will have such confidence in solving financial problems for people that that alone will help people to not back out. That alone, because they go, you've got this. I'm not alone. You're confident. Laura's got this. She knows what's going on. I'm scared about my finances. Laura's not. She knows what to do. We're going to be okay. And Laura's going to give them the truth. You guys are going to tell them the truth. I've had clients where it's not time. It's not
Yeah.
time, guys.
Yeah.
It's not time. And that's great. And the second part is, and this is a life lesson. And if you apply this to your life in general, everything will go better. And that is filter everything you do based off your goals. I'm talking about whether it's a TV show you watch, a podcast you listen to, the credentials. Notice there is a theme for every section that Laura has talked about. She has said, but make sure you're getting your ROI. Whether it was a credential, whether it was stocks, whether it was investing in lead gen, whether it was in anything, what are you getting out of it? And I do this all day, every day. And when people go, wow, how do you get so much done? And I'm just like, well, I just choose to do the things that have the best ROI. And that is personal and business. And an example is that I might want to go play a video game, but I'm going to get a better ROI of spending time with my kids. Now, I'm already a present father. So it's not about, oh, I'm behind. I have a surplus and I'm still generally going to choose the better ROI. And guess what? My life feels so much better. It does. So this applies to everything that you do. And I honestly, Laura, I'm sure you've seen it too. Like I think that would arguably be one of the just being mindful of how am I spending my time and my money? Why am I? You said content. Why
Hmm.
am I listening to this podcast? I like Andrew Huberman, but do you know how much of his stuff just doesn't apply to me? I have to be careful. I can take a good intention and undermine my own business and my own time with good
Hmm.
intentions. Andrew Huberman has a lot of great, insightful stuff. But if you don't have some practical thing that you're going to draw from and go apply it, then what are you doing?
Well, it's all about choices, right? Like we are all choosing what we consume. We're choosing what fills our
Right.
tank. We're choosing how we make deposits in other people. It's all about choices, and we all have the choice whatever we want to do with it. I'm just telling you from mistakes that I made. I woke up and my kids were 24 and 21, and I had worked really hard and built a great business. But I woke up and my family had gotten the crumbs of the cookie. I told you this story many times. And I burnout is real in this industry. You will chase and you will run and you will be a popcorn because you need the money. And that's where I'm back to tell you, fill that pipeline as full as you possibly can so that you have the choice to make of when and how you jump and run, right? You get to choose every day, is this for me? Because most of the time it's not for you. It doesn't even align with your target client. It's not who you're trying to work with, but you need money. And again, we make bad decisions when we're desperate. So
Yep.
fill the pipeline so full that you don't have to compromise your morals, your values, your desires, the life that you've chosen in order to earn a dollar, right? That's why we do this holistic planning because it
Mm-hmm.
all affects your business. It all affects the decisions that you make. And it
Absolutely.
goes deeper than just knowing your numbers. It goes deeper in designing the life that you want with the business that you've chosen and setting boundaries and parameters in place that allow you to run and operate this business and be proud of the life that you've built.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it.
Okay?
Next week, part four, final part. Um, Go catch up on the workbook if you need to. First
Yep.
timers, this is a great way to just jump right in. Um, and we've got lots of resources. Again, if you subscribe to the newsletter, get into our Facebook group, the Agent Alliance, we're going to take good care of you. We'll give you as many resources as we possibly can and support you through the process. But at the end of the day, it's your choice, it's
Yeah.
your daily decisions. We're just going to empower you as much as we can.
And just remember, anything you don't know how to do is available on the internet. So if you don't know about
Absolutely.
financial literacy, ask ChatGPT to help you, give you a crash course. You can go on YouTube. Not knowing is a horrible excuse because we have access to
Yeah,
everything we want to know on the internet for free.
that's right.
Okay?
All right,
So
guys.
thanks for
Thank
showing up
you.
today. I appreciate you being here. If this was helpful, tell your friends, show up next week. Okay?
That's
Thank
right.
you so much.
Bye,
Felicia, go get it
everybody.
today. See ya. Bye.